to Resonance, a podcast by Quetzal y Andrade, where we talk about bass, effects, and life things. I'm going to talk a little bit about this weekend's gig out of town, 3 hours away, how that whole endeavor and great musical time ended up being quite a downer towards the end when I had to head back home, but also about MAZES, the album 19 to be exact, which came out May 1st, 2026. Gonna preview some of the songs or sample some of the songs, talk about the titles and the ideas behind them, the meaning. And so, yeah, we're going to cover a few different things. And so, anyway, let's go back to this weekend's gig. It was a great time. It's 3 hours away. The band and the guys were a great hang. But on the way home, it was a hard stop at 10 p.m. I was already super exhausted, and the last dose of caffeine was at noon that day. So I was already on empty, super tired, slightly bloated from the amazing dinner that I had maybe 2, almost 3 hours prior, but got in the car, started heading back down the mountain, and hecka windy roads, terrible bumpy roads. I had a headache. I was probably dehydrated. I was on the cusp of nausea, some motion sickness probably, but also I was questioning whether or not maybe I had some food poisoning going on. And so I took the roads very slow. I took my time. I even pulled over twice to rest up and try to, get my head a little more clear, and as well as my body at rest, kind of recharge. And I made it home at 1:20 in the morning. However, I ended up, being a little frustrated and disappointed at the fact that I didn't make my ETA home at 1:05 a.m. Again, safety matters, and so that's why I took my time on the windy roads, got off the road, and rested for 5 minutes a couple times. And even, let me just say this, I have a great group of friends that in a pinch, they'll come through. I ended up having a couple of guys pull over and flag me down, knowing that I was tailing behind very slowly, asked me if I was okay, if I needed a soda, or if I wanted them to follow me to make sure that I was okay. And I'm like, no, I'm good. I appreciate you guys, definitely. But I just need to take my time and go on ahead. I'm not trying to slow anybody down. I'm good. I'll be good. And so that was a whole learning experience for me. I'm 40 years old now, and man, I need to pack motion sickness pills. I need to pack ibuprofen and an energy drink, right? Not knowing the situation, coming back down a mountain or a gig where there was like nothing anywhere forever where I could stop and pick up a Red Bull or a Monster or anything of the sort. Especially if I want to keep on doing this music, this live music venture thing. It's like I want to be able to do this and not regret it in the future. So that being said, I feel like I learned a valuable lesson, right? To just take what I need, plan for the worst, right? Hope for the best, but hope for the best, plan for the worst, and then just keep doing the music thing, right? If that's what keeps me happy. It's obviously lucrative too. It was worth doing the gig, but again, lesson learned, great time. The body isn't what it used to be, but here's to 40, and here's to more music. Speaking of music, and original music at that, right? Things that are coming out of me on a original and personal level. MAZES, album number 19, out May 1st, 2026. Always a great time to write original music and to put it out every first of the month. You already know it's whatever momentum, ideas, looping, melodic creativity and exploration comes out. That's what's going to come out on the album. No reservations, good or bad. Yeah, let's just leave it at that. The album cover, first of all, for MAZES is my son's depiction of 3 little cardboard pieces where he drew, very geometric looking things, lines, shapes, and to me they look like little mazes on each little card, and I thought they were cool, and I validated him, and ended up putting them on the floor, right on the hard tile floor where we eat, and I don't want to say dining room, but yeah, on the floor, and I took the picture, and so that's the background behind the three little cardboard pieces, and so this album, already is endearing with the idea that it was my 9-year-old son's artwork, and that he let me go ahead and take a picture for the album cover, right? I'm proud of him. I love him very much, and his name is Mateo, and so the album is called Mazes, starting with the letter M. His middle name is Misael, so Mateo Misael, Mazes, and music, and it's just, this ties in so much for me towards him, right? With him in mind, and so the first track of the album is Mazes, and so let me just play it before we address anything else. This is starting out with a sequence keyboard line from the Teenage Engineering OPXY, as well as the drum beat. Everything else is done on the Concert 32 S. Martin bass, and so let's listen on. There it is, the verse melody restated again, adding a little bit of bit crush backbeat at that point, and just right off the bat, the title Mazes. We're immediately confronted with mazes in life, right? From at one point of our lives to the next chapter in our lives, right? There's always this unknown route that we need to take, or that we end up taking, and it can be very confusing as to which direction we should go. Not always a bad thing. That's part of the surprise, the beauty of life, right? Not always knowing what comes next. There's some unfortunate events that definitely come about, but as I always tell my students and my kids, it's all about just making the next best move, right? We can react, but ultimately we need to react in a manner that we can say, hey, this is the best move I can possibly make as a result of either carefully thinking or just, maybe some very good instincts, right, to navigate towards the best, I guess, goal or mark. So this is Mazes. I'm going to play just a little bit more. Yeah, there you go. Chorus, melody again. Eventually there's a solo. You can check that piece out on your own. The next piece is called Lemon Drops. And I called it Lemon Drops because there's like a little bit of like energy that I could feel, I don't know, like lemons and some sort of acidic taste gives us, right? That little push, right? And so this is called Lemon Drops, and let me just play it before I start talking. Don't really make things correlate. Yeah, it just sounds bouncy to me. There's a little bit of a dance vibe, and I don't know, Lemon Drops. I don't know why I thought that. Maybe I thought something like drops, something dripping, something happy, something dancing in the way that rain does, and then just lemon drops just because of the energy, right? The I guess vitamin C is vital, and pushes us to feel better, more alive, and again, not sick. I don't know, anti-sick. I don't know. I'm just trying to make relevance of all this, but We'll play a little bit more. Yeah, so just changing up the melody a little bit to be more of a pre-chorus section at this point. Obviously, we had the little like clav synth keyboard sound at the beginning coming from Teenage Engineering, OPXY, drum beat as well from the OPXY. Everything else is bass, right, with just effects, whether it's reverb or whatever. Next section. After this, right? Yeah, I think that really sealed it for me, the whole drops imagery where, maybe there's a leaking faucet and there's those drops consistently falling at the same rate, or rain, and there's that melody at the chorus where it's harmonized and it's just quarter beats or quarter notes landing pretty squarely, right, pretty consistently, evenly, hopefully. And there you go, lemon drops. The coolest thing about this is that we went to the store, my kids and I let them pick out some candies, and so we're going by the candy section. There are a bunch of lemon drop candies just hanging there, and I'm like, oh, I gotta buy one. I don't even like them, but I need to buy them just for content, right? So I threw it up on my IG, me kind of turning over this bag of lemon drops, and then letting my track play in the background just for fun. Again, if for my own amusement, then there it is, lemon drops. It's another memory created where I went to the store with my kids. I let them buy candy. See, I'm a good dad, right? And I bought myself some disgusting lemon drops that, again, was just an excuse to put my music out there and hopefully entertain someone. The next piece is called Viaje de Brasil, and I meant to put Viaje. Oops, typo. But Viaje, it's not all that far off if you look it up. I'll let you do that. But Viaje de Brasil was kind of implying that this instrument, or instruments that I now play, they're from Brazil, right? And I added some sort of Brazilian samba quality to it, in my opinion. Again, I'm no guru, I'm no expert in the genre, but I wanted to kind of pay tribute a little bit towards that style of music that I do love, that I have played on drums before. I used to be a drummer, and Brazilian samba was always one of my favorite beats to play on the drums. So here is Viaje de Brasil. I came up with this chord progression and this rhythmic part to that chord progression and bass part, right, at work during break one time here at the school where I teach. And that's the beauty of bringing my instrument to work every day. Like, I can just use it as a creative, therapeutic outlet, but ultimately much of it turns into ideas or concrete pieces of music that I integrate into my original album work, right? So this is always a fun thing to remember, right? The fact that, hey, you can create music anywhere. It doesn't have to be just be at home in your studio through your pedal board rig that, makes you who you are, supposedly. But yeah, it was just with the bass, and again, during my break time, no effects, no glorified signal chain, right? Chords with some chorus. Harmonized melody. Let that be. That's Viaje de Brasil. Go check that out if you have not heard it all the way through. This next piece is called A Little While Longer. No drums are in this one, I believe. So hopefully we can talk about this. Back to Viaje de Brasil. Go check out Smart Basses if you haven't already. From Brazil, amazing instruments. Samuel is an amazing guy. Go check them out. Here's a little while longer. ring mod, ring modulation, I love it. It's a difficult thing to navigate at times, but I welcome it with open arms. That's the loop effect that's happening towards the beginning, messing with my warm audio ringer bringer effect pedal through the effects loop of my Ampero 2. And how I have it dialed in there, it's giving me what I need. It's giving me that chime, bell-like effect or pulsing effect that, to me, it's the backbone of the piece. It makes it what it is. Without it, it wouldn't be this piece. And obviously the bass line, the chord progression, pushes you to, I guess, create a melody in a certain way. But if you notice, the bass line, it's really simple. It's really long, drony, long notes. And that is actually coming out of my Zoom 60 or MS-60B pedal. And it's an effect that I call ocean synth, with the idea that it sounds huge. It sounds massive, right? And the sustain on it is ridiculous. I should just time how long I can hold a note for on that thing. But yeah, just to make it sound big, full, long, string-like in a way where it's just sustained in an extended manner. So that's what's happening on the bottom end. Melody on top. So a little while longer, this is a piece that kind of makes me feel that you want to hold on to things the way they are for as long as possible, or just a little longer. I think of my kids. This reminds me of my kids. Just, maybe it's the melodic, or the way the notes land, right, melodically, that makes me think of something that's cherished, something that is worthwhile and yet fleeting, right? My kids are growing up all too fast. School has just started up again for the older two, and seeing their first day picture as they enter school, and then seeing other baby pictures of them in the same day is emotionally taxing. It destroys me, right? I definitely got very emotional the other day and communicating with my wife of the first day at school yesterday, and how beautiful that was. And man, it's just happening all so fast, all too fast, and a little while longer, right? We always want the beautiful parts to last just a little bit longer. And so there's that piece. Check the full track out, should you wish. Here is April Rain. And April Rain is awesome to me because, I'm trying to leave something for my kids and also trying to create art and music that's meaningful, at least to me and my kids first. And after that, yes, may it reach those that find need of it or that find it interesting just for artistic sake. And April Rain, I stood underneath the patio of my house while it was raining, literally in April, towards the end of April. And I stood out there for 2.5 minutes recording the rain with the TP7. And I know my kids were out. I told them I'm going to go do this. And so I went and did this, and I recorded the rain, and then laid a random impromptu melody over it that same day, so that it would be truly a date to remember, right? An April rain to remember, that it could go back and just say, hey kids, back when you were kids, your dad stood out here under the patio while it was raining, and left you this recording, right? Left this piece of music material, hopefully for everyone to enjoy, but most of all, you guys. And so April Rain, it's my birthday month. I turned 40 in April, and so I don't remember if this was before I turned 40 or after, to be honest, but slightly irrelevant. April Rain, here it is. Excuse me, here it is. Don't you love the rain? Before I continue on, just want to say that I am using the slower Walrus Audio pedal, right? It's a stereo reverb pedal, and I am running it in stereo, and that's it. Just my Concert 32S Martin bass, the slower reverb pedal, and into the Zoom R4. I will stop it there. Please enjoy the track on your own time, should you wish. And I want to say that I called it April Rain because that's what it was, but really standing out there for 2.5 minutes, it makes me feel like, I really need to be thinking about my life and the future and the meaning of everything and everyone. And hopefully the melody kind of seems like it's a little bit introspective, right? It's a little bit reflective, on the present, on the past, and contemplating the future. I didn't want the melody to sound sad per se, and I didn't want it to sound all too joyful. Like, what's the motive? Why? But more of a, there's definitely ups and downs. There's fast and slow parts to the melody. That's the way the mind works, I believe, right? We're not always going 100 miles an hour. Our mind does slow down and maybe fixate on something a little more than others. And just the whole ebb and flow of thought, life, and melody, and perhaps even the rain, even though this rain was constant. And I really like that for, the rhythmic background that it presented. Things don't always stay at the same pace or rate, and it doesn't always have to be happy or sad. There's this in between, and hopefully that the melody or the melodies presented kind of reinforce that. This next piece is called árboles, which means trees in Spanish. Pads by the Teenage Engineering OPXY, as well as the beat. The Optimizer Aguilar octave pedal. That's what I'm running on the bass line. And then I got some of these like sixth harmony, bouncy type of harmonies being played on top. First melody. To the chorus melody. To me, this just paints the picture of trees, right? Just endless trees, like in a forest situation, a jungle situation, where it's like it's mystery. You don't see everything that's underneath if you're on top. If you're standing underneath the trees, you don't see everything that's going on above, right? And it's just the life that is occurring above and below and within. It's almost endless in a way, and it sounds very mystical to me, some of the effects. But again, arboles, trees, that's the imagery that comes to mind, and the unknown, right, which is also beautiful, I think, to know that, hey, if you really want a new experience, just go to a rainforest, just go to a jungle and discover life, discover so many cool things, scary things, of course. I'm not going to jump into a jungle anytime soon, but you get the idea that I don't know, trees are a mystery and how long they can live. They outlive us, right? Many do, and you know the history that they carry with them, pretty amazing. It's quite a mystery. Dandelions is the next piece. Dandelions. My daughter loves dandelions, so all the kids do, right? They pick them up and they end up blowing them into the wind, right? Dispersing all the little particles in the air, and it just seems like the appropriate title and a correlating image, appropriate image, because there's that staticky, vinyl scratchy, lo-fi, ambient thing in the background going on, and that it just seems like kind of staticky and how light and I don't know, staticky, right? Dandelions can be, right? And just they're hard to control, like I would say electricity or any sort of thing that just kind of disperses into multiple directions at any given time, and we have no control over it, right? It's just constant movement that you just have to, let it be and enjoy, as kids do. They blow a dandelion and they just watch and enjoy, and even if they can't dictate where every part goes, they'll chase them. They'll have a great time just enjoying the experience, right? Enjoying the imagery. So it seems kind of lighthearted and more on the positive side of things. These melodies, even though there's like little hints of minor quality within the sections, and again, it's fleeting, right? So even if there's some doubt or second guesses about the intent of the piece, or where these dandelions are going, right? They're off to a better place for sure. Mystery Bells, track 8. Yep, already some more cool effects. I don't even know what I'm using on that. It sounds very bell-like to me. I want to say it is ring mod. Yes, it is ring mod, because I got all excited about using ring mod in this album in particular, and again also by the Warm Audio ringer bringer pedals. So I'll let it play. Mystery Bells. Hopefully you're getting that bell quality and some mystery quality as well, hence the title. Okay, I'll stop it there. Obviously, I got that like OC2 blast bass kind of thing going on, in the lower octave as the bass line. Yeah, a lot of open space, no drums, right? That's kind of a good thing. I like letting the drums take a break in my music, as the first 4 albums were, right? No drum tracks at all. Here's the last one, which is called Perdido. As we sometimes get throughout mazes and life, and even though there's things like dandelions and trees, there's questionable things, mystery bells, there's emotions that are felt along the way, wanting things to last a little longer. The treks all the way from Brazil, right, like in track 3, And finally, lastly, we can still find ourselves lost at any given time with questions. Hence the last piece called Perdido, which was a tough track to record because harmonically and bass line wise, it definitely painted a canvas that was interesting, and I wanted to keep it regardless of the theory that worked or didn't work. It's just, I felt like, why not have this Perdido, feeling lost piece, because I was lost part of the time in recording this, and I regret nothing. Are you feeling lost yet? It's quite the piece, right? It definitely has a lot of tension everywhere, right? Even with the harmonized melody effect that I'm using from the HX1 on top, right? It definitely makes things less easy to feel on a more harmonic or diatonic level. I'll leave it there. Perdido, that's the last track. Thank you all for listening. I enjoyed trying to, relive and reminisce on some of the sounds of this album released months ago, and the meaning behind a lot of the stuff, and just, being able to share music and talk about it is a privilege. And if you are listening, thank you for subscribing, following any sort of channel, whether it's my YouTube, the Instagram. No longer doing Podbean, but again, thank you all for checking out the music on any platform, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, you name it. It's on all platforms. So I will see you the next time to talk about either the next album or to finally sample my Freedom 33 bass, which, again, that's a podcast to come. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing your time to check out FX, bass, live things. It's not in that order, right? Bass, effects, live things. But again, thank you all. Have a good one.